Hi, and welcome to Are You Done Yet? The podcast about your work and project management challenges. I'm Mike Taylor, and as with me as always, Brian Quick.
Hey, everybody, welcome.
Hey, it's been a while since we've done a podcast, and a lot's happened. There's a lot of water under the bridge, so to speak, kind of like that bridge you got behind you. Where's that?
Yeah, so I'm highlighting the Bridge of Lions in beautiful St. Augustine, Florida, where I live. And we moved down here about 2.5 years ago, and
Hmm.
it's just a wonderful, beautiful city. So many things to do. My wife actually has a job in one of the stores, in the clothing stores. We know some good friends of ours that own it. And
Hmm.
so we're becoming more and more part of the community. We're down there a lot. It's a great place to be if you have ever have the occasion to visit Northeast Florida and the Jacksonville metro area. Make sure you get down to St. Augustine. And the Bridge of Lions is like the main bridge that goes over the river and the intercoastal waterway there, Mike. And you've actually boated there before, right?
Oh yeah, that's awesome. And it goes over towards Anastasia, and there's a great state park that's out there. You can go camping and everything. And I see it's all lit up for Christmas. They
Yeah.
really do it up. It's a historic town. I guess it's the oldest city and a continuously occupied city in the United States.
It's the oldest city in the United States. Yeah, that's right. 1519, I think, something absurd like that.
Yeah.
And they have what's called the Nights of Lights during the holidays, and they light the whole downtown city up. Horse-drawn carriages, and everybody just really gets into. My daughter was actually in the St. Augustine parade. She was
Oh,
marching with the
fun.
seventh grade band with her clarinet. So
That's nice. Good times.
good times here in St. Augustine, Florida, but good times at Innovative E as well.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot lately. You want to kind of take us away? We've got a lot of things to cover today, I think.
Yeah, we want to go over what we're doing for some of our main customers, what we call the customer corner,
Hmm.
specifically highlighting a case study we did with Southern New Hampshire University, which just came out from Microsoft. So that was really exciting. Want to talk a little bit about that.
Hmm.
Make sure the word gets out on how we were able to help them and their story. So in case your story sort of is similar or you can relate to that, maybe you'd get some value out of it.
Right?
Um, we also wanted to talk about what we were doing with TribalNet
Yeah, that
in
was.
November, early November. And that was in Dallas, Texas. And we were able to meet with customers and go to Mike, we went to a trade show.
We went
We
to a trade
checked.
show. So here's my badges that I've had for all the trade shows I've
Yeah.
done. I finally got to add a new one out there on the end. There's our conference sponsor badge for TribalNet. First time in 2 years. It was awesome to get in person, and they had a great turnout. They had I think about 80% plus of what they normally do. Microsoft and the other partners. Edison supported us there. Bravo Consulting.
Hmm.
So we had a really good I think interaction. It was great to be in person and talking to people again and hearing about their challenges and things that they're doing on the Microsoft platform. We've worked with a lot of tribal nations in the past. Some of them have really progressed their footprint and usage of the platform. So it was just a really good experience, I think, for having not done it in a while. And it came off, almost without a hitch, surprisingly. I think some good project management involved.
Yeah, definitely. So it was fun to just be in a booth again and talk about what Innovative E does, how we can help customers just kind of hear the short version of their story and their journey to the cloud. And everybody's kind of in a different place. TribalNet is a really cool conference. They're really great people to work with, to meet, to talk to, because there's a diversity in kind of the industry that's being addressed with TribalNet. It's served under the federal government for Microsoft, so we're kind of coming in under that umbrella, if you will. We're meeting with those folks in the federal government
Yep.
business at Microsoft, but we're also, getting to know a lot of the folks in the tribal nations. There's a diversity of industry there, so some of them are representing gaming and casino entities,
Yep.
which are
Commerce.
huge businesses, and in hospitality, hotels, gaming. A lot of them are also those folks are representing healthcare needs in on their reservations or in their tribal
Communities.
nations. And then there's a lot of folks that are, municipal in nature. So there's the, just running the day-to-day operations of the police department, or, the needs of the tribal nation. So
Right.
it's interesting, the diversity in kind of the industry there. And, Innovative E kind of spans different industries. We don't have a particular concentration. We have more experience in some than others, but we're able to
Right.
have great conversations with everybody.
Yep. Yeah, I think it was really good. And like I was saying a minute ago, we found that a lot of folks have progressed, and I think everyone in all businesses have had to progress their cloud transformation. We found that, and that was reaffirmed with the conversations we're having. A lot of the nations have moved
Hmm.
forward a lot more, where maybe 2 or 3 years ago there was still a lot of data center centric stuff. They've really embraced the Microsoft cloud
Hmm.
strategy. Some of them are in the GCC, a lot of them are in the commercial clouds. It's good to see them really embracing that strategy. And the person from Microsoft that runs the whole thing, Don Leonetti, we talked to him and his team. He brought a bunch of folks from Microsoft, and Jan Adams from the federal SSP for project was there supporting as well. So a lot of good conversations, like you said, cross industry and around work and
Hmm.
project management, and how the platform is really getting more and more engaged, or more and more available for most of the folks to support this diverse set of needs that you talked about.
And just a shout out to Dallas in general. It's a great city. We spent time at the Gaylord up in
Hmm.
Grapevine, and what a wonderful hotel that is. Wow, just really
Yeah.
impressive. They were setting up for all the Christmas stuff while we were there, so we get, it was kind of cool on a day-to-day basis. There was just more and more Christmas stuff every time you woke up in the morning, and they were
Yeah.
basically transforming it into like the North Pole while we were there.
Yeah.
But also
That's great.
Grapevine. We had a great time in Grapevine.
Yeah. It's
What
a
a
quaint little
cool little
town.
town. Yeah. A lot of
Yeah.
shops and things to do, places to eat. So, I know we both took the spouses. So we were basically um, hanging out in Grapevine, enjoying the town as well. So it was great to
Yeah.
be out, just out of state and just out.
It really was. Yeah, it was a good time to, and great experiences all around.
Yeah. Awesome. So, TribalNet, we're still, having some great conversations with people as a result of that conference, and we're talking to them about, last time we were at TribalNet, it was like in Nashville about 2 years ago,
Hmm.
and we were hearing, that a lot of Microsoft Teams, can you do this in Microsoft Teams? And fast forward 2 years, everybody's using it,
Right.
and they're all there, and if they're not, they're getting there too. And it just kind of validated what we're doing at Innovative E with work and project management transformation, and using Teams as like a central collaboration hub to do that.
Right. Yeah. Teams and kind of the whole modern platform that
Yeah.
Microsoft's bringing to bear there. Teams being a central way for people to work and kind of stay focused. And as Microsoft puts it, the non-context switching, or they don't have folks can stay in the same context where they don't have to go to all these different places. And to that extent, we actually have built, and I, if folks have followed our podcast, we've been talking about this for a while, a product called Teams for project management, and it allows people to stay in that context of
Hmm.
teams. Most of the people who are doing the work don't even have to know where the actual um, execution software as a service is, like Project Online or Project for the
Hmm.
Web. And because the team's experience allows them to stay engaged. Now the project managers will have to go to those applications and enter and create the task and everything else, but for the most part, people can stay in that that secure experience, that unified experience, that area where it's there's an element of governance to it, because it creates all the team sites the same, which is a problem a lot of customers face, is kind of team sprawl and everything else. So it keeps it all consistent, and it's easy to use. And that actually might be a good segue to talk a little bit about the SNHU case study, because that's
Yeah.
actually where we helped that customer, the Southern New Hampshire University.
Hmm.
And we actually had been engaged helping do some consulting and some work around Project Online, and they came to us with a set of challenges around project intake and needing a better unified experience. So we actually we did provide Teams for project management to them, and then and there's the case study right there. And
Yeah.
yeah, it was a
So,
it was
Mike, I mean, this was a great experience, and it's some kind of like break it down a little bit of how this transpired. We were working with the Southern New Hampshire University on their Project Online implementation, And during the course of those discussions, they wanted to do an assessment of whether, and how to roll out basically the PPM strategy, the tool set to a broader audience. And we really brought the Microsoft Teams collaboration first story into the conversation as a result of that assessment. And we said, let's take Project Online, which is um, a great tool, but it's more of a destination PPM tool, right? It's not, the collaboration occurs there. And let's take the collaboration aspects of Teams and we'll use those instead. And we'll pull the
Mm-hmm.
data in from Project Online and we'll make Project Online like part of Teams.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people are sort of in that same scenario that maybe out there, they're either using Project Online today and then some project managers are navigating toward using Teams as a destination for the collaboration and the files and everything like that. So now you got two things. Well, we can pull it in. So what we did with SNHU is, and you can go out on the Microsoft website. Microsoft actually conducted this case study. They interviewed us. They interviewed the SNHU folks, and it was a really cool process to be a part of.
It really was.
And they came up with this great write-up about what happened and how we were able to help them out. And the long story short is there were different people using different tools, different things that they were doing project management in, and they had a disconnected experience. And then there were some folks that were using Project Online, but they didn't feel like that tool set was collaborative enough to push it to everybody.
Right.
So what we did was we took the best of Project Online and the best of Teams and Power Platform, and we kind of glued it all together with our
Mm-hmm.
T4PM app you mentioned earlier.
Yep.
Teams for Project Management is what we call it, T4PM. And what it does is you have a project intake process. It uses Power Automate, Microsoft Forms. It takes that stuff in, and then it automatically provisions all the Teams channels and the governance that they need in order to be successful and collaborative on that project. And it pulls in the project schedule from Project Online to the tab
Yep.
in Teams. It's really
Yep.
cool. Issue risk tracking, it's all there. And the key to this all is that all that data goes into one central database location for reporting out of Power BI. So you're not using disparate data everywhere. Good luck doing anything comprehensive like resource capacity planning or management or trying to figure out project prioritization if everybody's using different tools. So they were able to consolidate it together in one thing, stay on the Microsoft platform, which has economies of scale and security involved with it as well, and then move it forward in a more collaborative way. It's very exciting.
Yeah, it really is, and there's a lot of detail that's in the case study. We could probably talk about this for an hour or more about they even realized benefits that they didn't see or didn't anticipate coming into it. That cross organizations have better views into that intake process you talked about, so they're actually able to one organization may say, hey, you're doing this. We were thinking about doing something similar. So let's start talking. So it's increasing the collaboration that's happening even outside of the application just because of the visibility. So,
Mm-hmm.
visibility and collaboration, we've talked about this a lot. And, I've mentioned this in a couple of our podcasts. You like to say that a lot of the point solutions kind of create or work collaboration as a second class citizen. What
Mm-hmm.
we're really doing is putting collaboration with this kind of thought process, and then the products and the services around it is putting collaboration at the center
Mm-hmm.
of everything. And we've actually kind of talked a little bit about an intelligent collaboration fabric. This is kind of a term we've been kicking around a lot, but that actually goes into something that's also very exciting for us, I think, and that is that we are we're really working towards reimagining our whole approach, and it's built off of this kind of philosophy. So we've engaged with some folks to help us really take this message, consolidate it, and take it to market, so that we have a much more cohesive way to address this problem in the problem space. And
Yeah.
I know you're pretty excited about that. We'll be starting to actually roll this out in early 2022, so there'll be a lot of stuff people will be seeing in social and other and in with our partners and everything else around this.
Yeah, I mean, 2022 is going to be a big year for Innovative E. There's no doubt about it. And it's going to be about stories like this. It's going to be about taking stories like this, making sure that other people are aware of how we were able to help in transforming their work in project management. We've got a couple more in the works here. One of them at an equity firm, and that's in the healthcare area. So that's coming
Hmm.
to a theater near you. So we talked about with them. We did that kind of interview yesterday for the case study, and it was a really good exploration of where they were before we were able to come in and assist, and then now where they are later. And it's been a good journey with them. It's been a short, crisp sort of journey, but it's been a good journey. And that one is going to be about how the Power Platform specifically, we're able to build in their business processes that they leverage every day. And actually, it's the way that they do business that we were able to build in to the Power Platform. So more to come on that, and we'll be
Yeah.
highlighting that in the next podcast.
And that one's super exciting because it actually, as you said, it's taking in their special sauce of their differentiation in the marketplace and how they approach
Right.
business, and it's helping to automate it with the Power Platform and really do that as business process automation, like you're talking about. And their journey was interesting too. I'd like to take a little segue on this, and some of
Yeah.
this will be in the case study, some of it won't, but. You mentioned before with SNHU, we got in, we had started doing some work with them. Then we took a step back and did an assessment to kind of work forward with this customer you're talking about. We kind of entered in. They had already been working with other folks and trying to do some things in the Power Platform, kind of hit a wall, and so they asked us to come in and kind of assess the situation and say what's the right thing to do, and should we even be using the Power Platform, or should
Right.
we use some custom or even purpose-built thing around what they do in the equity management space. And so we did. We actually worked with them and delivered a fairly, well, I would say it was a very objective assessment of, here's some other products you could do, and here's what you can do with this, and here's the the cost and the things you can do with an off-the-shelf product, which overall cost initially was probably a little lower. But the flexibility that they wanted to really get their process, their special sauce in, that's what the Power Platform
Right.
uh, really provided. And they wanted that flexibility to not just initially to get it like they wanted, but knowing that they can continue to evolve that process to keep that competitive advantage and not have to wait for a vendor to make these changes to an off-the-shelf product, which is
Right.
always a slower life cycle. And there's this build versus buy that all customers go through. And they decided to build because the low code, no code, it's kind of it sits in that center space, right? It allows you to kind of have the best of both worlds, where you can go get things done quickly, and less expensively than going with a full custom solution.
Right.
But you're not bound by the rigidity of buying an off-the-shelf product. So it kind of sits in the middle. And it's not to say that you don't run into complexity with low code, no code. And this customer and others did, and that's where we can come in and help to steer as you
Right.
make this more of an enterprise application. How do you do that and put the right parameters around it? And we did that,
Mm-hmm.
and I think, as you said, they seem super happy with it. And it's
Mm-hmm.
it's it's so exciting to see a business actually be able to expand the way that they're go to market with a product that we've helped build like that.
Yeah, it's really energizing,
Yeah.
especially yesterday. Mike, I kind of had a challenging day yesterday. I think why you were on the same call as I was. It was it was
It
it
happens.
was it was we had a challenging morning. It started earlier than it was supposed to, and it went
Went
it
long.
went long, but we got through it. But yeah, that having that call at the end of the day yesterday kind of made my day. So,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a great story that we can tell people. That's kind of the stuff I get energized about.
Yep.
Um, so speaking of, then we've got another one in the works with a bank that we're talking with, that we were able to help them release all three modules of Edison 365, and we're real excited about Edison 365 at Innovative E, as we transform work and project management. Sometimes just buying something off the shelf that already is there, already exists, that does innovation management, business case management, and project management on the Microsoft platform in kind of a complete suite that's kind of turnkey and configurable is really appealing to some
Absolutely.
folks, and especially because it's economical and it furthers what they're already doing with
Right.
Microsoft on the platform. And it was a really good fit for this customer, and we implemented it as we always do with our Edison 365 customers in a comprehensive way. We're looking at it like, not only are we going to turn this on, but we want to talk to you about what business processes, what configurations you want to build into the solution, and why.
Right.
So
Yep.
that's
Absolutely.
also a case study coming to a theater near you,
Yep.
that we're going to be working on in early Q1.
Yep. And it's again, what we have really embraced over the years, and doing it more, I guess, directly now, is really meeting people where they are. And so
Right.
the the equity management firm, they needed they needed it to be more customizable. They needed it to be more precise and down built around their processes. So they were willing to go down that. And with this financial firm you're talking about, they needed fast and flexible. They needed to
Hmm.
be able to get something deployed quickly to meet strategic objectives that had been set at the the C level, and market responding to market trends and things that were going on. So there's there's the continuum that allow you to be fast and flexible,
Hmm.
to custom and detailed processes, all the way over to kind of business process automation and full customization. And we can meet people wherever they are there, and that's a really great it's a great feeling to be able to help people anywhere in that continuum.
Yeah, it's kind of fun not to be a one-trick pony, Mike.
Exactly, exactly. So, Brian, as I mentioned a minute ago, you've oftentimes said that you feel that collaboration is a second-class citizen. So, and we're talking about reframing kind of our whole go-to-market, not just from a messaging perspective, but really tying it together everything that we're doing under one umbrella. And
Mhm.
I'd like to actually read here what us and the firm we've hired to work with is really kind of caramelized down, and that is transform project and work management into a competitive advantage with a
Mm.
cloud-driven, modern collaboration toolset that engages everyone in your core objectives. So I think that kind of says it all in terms of how to transform project and work management at scale for organizations.
It really
And
does.
tying back to his core objectives is a key piece too, I think. And
Yeah.
really thinking of it strategically as a strategic asset, and not just a tool to go manage a project or an initiative or development or whatever. It's really kind of, it's most people in organizations that are information workers are engaged in some form of work management, and
Hmm.
really elevating that. The collaboration is at the core of that, and keeping that front and center and building out from there, I think
Hmm.
is it's kind of transformative in terms of the way of thinking.
It's a really powerful statement. Transform work and project management into a strategic advantage. I mean, wow. You think about, yeah, a lot of companies have work and project management going on, but it's just something they have to do. It's like organized work that they have to do. And to take that and say, that is the most important work that your company is doing.
Yeah,
And if you're executing on that effectively, then you are creating a strategic advantage for yourself.
effectively and aligned with whatever the core objectives or strategic objectives are. And some things don't apparently, it's not apparent how they align to a strategic objective, but at some point they do. Everything that you're doing, or should. And if it doesn't,
Yeah,
and you have visibility to it, then you may rethink whatever that work is going on there, and reallocate those resources to something that is more strategic and beneficial
right.
to your customers and organization.
But what really brings it home for me is that I may be oversimplifying this, so forgive me, but now with the tool sets that we have and the tools that we have, being so easy to use and so collaborative, that in order to get that strategic advantage, all you really have to do is just stick to a common tool set that on the Microsoft platform that includes what your things you're already using, like Microsoft Teams, and let's interject some other tools in there that are extremely easy to use, very collaborative into that Teams ecosystem, like Project for the Web
Right.
and Power BI and Power Automate, Power Apps. Let's interject some of those tools in and really just build out that collaborative framework that you're already using. So all you really do have to do is use that, and you're not really going out of your way. You're not going to. We talk a lot about how PPM systems have been destination systems, that you've had to go over there and do the work, and that some of that has been challenging to do,
Mhm.
is embracing the user community in the data collection effort.
Mhm.
Um, because really those PPM systems, that data is representative of the work that's going on. That's not the actual work that's going on.
Absolutely.
So we've said that a lot in the past. And what's really hitting home for me is that just by working in this collaborative Microsoft ecosystem and building in, spicing in some project management tools that are built for that, you're kind of already doing it. So
Mhm.
the barrier of entry to that rich data collection has been lowered to a point where all you have to do is use this Teams environment, this project work management environment in Microsoft Teams to get to that point
Yep.
of a strategic advantage. So it's a lot easier to get there than it used to be.
Right.
And yeah.
It takes the legs out of a lot of the when you were in a purpose-built PPM type solution, then you
Hmm.
had to kind of layer in these complex processes and training to support the processes and kind of
Yeah.
hammer that in. And there was a lot of effort that went around that. That'll never go away entirely. What we're trying to do is bake it into the collaboration
Hmm.
fabric. And I think that's what
Hmm.
you're saying. It makes it easier to kind of just get started and do the work. And the
Yeah.
technology is able to start doing more and more of the collaboration aspect. So when we talk about a collaboration platform, which really what hits home for me is what we're doing here is it's not just collaboration for people, it's
Hmm.
application collaboration, right?
Oh, yeah.
Applications are collaborating, and the Power Platform and the Dataverse and all of those
Mm.
components on the Microsoft Secure Net platform allow for that to happen
Hmm.
almost seamlessly. And
Right.
that's, I think, a real power of the whole concept as well.
Yeah. I mean, the most of the challenge with PPM system adoption has been, are the users going to embrace it?
Hmm.
Are the team members going to go and update their tasks? Are they going to fill out their timesheet if there's one? Are they going to go to the project team website to collaborate, or is that just another thing they have to do?
Right.
And so a lot of folks have struggled. We've tried to help folks as much as we can along that journey and emphasized that the user adoption and the change management aspects of a PPM deployment should be paramount in your thinking, and
Right.
it is imperative to success. Some folks have gone on their own or whatever, and despite those that situation have not had a PPM system that was fully embraced by the enterprise for whatever reason, because they look at it like, I've got to go use the project management tool. I've got to go over here and use this thing. It's not my tool, it's the project managers, and I've got to go tell them what I'm doing.
Right.
I have
Absolutely.
to give them data, and
Hmm.
and it's always some extra thing that you have to do. When Microsoft put that into the SharePoint ecosystem, it got better. Then it was just in SharePoint, and you're already in SharePoint for other things. But now it's just putting that in Teams makes it so engrossed and embedded in what you're doing every day, and you never have to leave it, that it's not somewhere else you need to go.
Right. Yeah. It changes that context switching. It's awesome.
It's not just a project management tool anymore. It's the tool that the enterprise is collaborating in already. So it's
Yep.
bringing it just in. It's bringing the project management into the stuff you're already doing. And what you're getting out of that is you're getting the data centralized and the insights into it without really the users having to do anything special.
Right. Collaboration first instead
Yep.
of second class. Yep.
Yep. So that's what we're all about. That's going to be a huge story for Innovative E in 2022.
Absolutely.
All right. So just kind of segueing into the next segment we were going to talk about today is kind of lighten it up a little bit. What's your Mike? What's your favorite Christmas movie?
Well, my it used to be It's a Wonderful Life, but over the last several years, it's kind of morphed into Christmas Vacation. Um,
So
kind of
yeah,
irreverent and fun. So we have a tradition that every Thanksgiving, because that marks the beginning of the Christmas season, at the end of the evening, me and others will sit around and have some leftover turkey and fire up Christmas Vacation and mark the
yeah,
beginning. And so every year we watch it. So it's been going on now. It's kind of a family thing we've been doing for a long time.
yeah. I embrace that and wholeheartedly, Mike. My favorite character, of course, would be
Cousin Eddie.
Cousin Eddie, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So he because I have an RV.
Hmm.
My family RVs, and I know all about emptying it out, but I don't do it in the street sewer
No, no, that's
like he did. But
sort of
hey,
illegal.
yeah, I try to look as much like him as possible when I am emptying the RV, though. Um, It's classic. It's just classic. So that, I mean, Christmas Vacation. I have to agree with you on that. I mean, there's no better Christmas movie. I like A Christmas Story.
Yep, it's a good one
It
too.
never gets old. It just
Nope,
never gets old, does it?
nope, nope.
Um,
Especially the scene there at they go to the Chinese restaurant at the end. Fa ra 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 ra. It's awesome.
yeah,
Love that movie.
yeah, love
Red
it.
Butter Beach again. Yep.
My kids are
Oh,
really into the Santa Claus
oh yeah.
series.
Oh yeah. That was a great series.
Yeah.
It, um,
What's the guy's
he
name?
was
I forget.
Tim
Tim.
Allen.
Tim
Yeah, Tim
Allen.
Allen.
Yeah.
He was great
It's
in that.
great.
Yeah.
Anyway, Christmas movies are a big part of our celebration here in the Quick household. We love our movies.
One other one that I try to watch as Christmas gets a little closer is Scrooged with Bill Murray. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got to work that in at least once every season.
So the other night we went out to my buddy's place, and he has one of those outdoor inflatable screens,
Hmm.
and so we got the fire started, and we were kind of all around the campfire on his patio, pool patio, watching Elf
Oh,
on
that's a
the
great one
big
too.
screen on the projector. So that was fun.
Yep, yep, that's awesome. Good times.
So what else is on your list, Mike?
Well, I still have some shopping to do with all the supply chain issues that are going on. I tried to start early this year and start doing all my ordering. I got about half of it done, but I still have a little more to do. How about you?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm terrible at that. I always wait till the last minute. I'm really trying not to, but I'm a procrastination shopper.
Yeah, I like to wait. Actually, it's another tradition of mine. I save a couple of gifts to the very end, and I go retail shop at the end because I think like going to a mall or going someplace on Christmas Eve, you get different experiences. You deal with a lot of the folks who are they're in the last hour of their holiday season sales, and they're the last shift that's going to be there. And some of them are super excited and some are really down. And so you try to give them a smile and you know, tell them happy holidays. And it's an interesting experience. Go get a cup of coffee, walk around the mall. It's good.
That's kind of cool. All right. So I think, does this wrap up our episode of Are You Done Yet for this time around?
I think we're done with this episode. Never done, but I think we're done with this one.
Yeah, we're never done, Mike.
Yep.
With project management, work management, transformation here at Innovative E. So we'll put another episode in the bag. Thanks for joining us. And we're gonna get better about doing these more often because they're fun.
They are. We need to get back on our normal cadence. I think
Yeah.
we've been doing them monthly and kind of slipped and made it 6-7 weeks in between some of them. So we need to maybe that's a New Year's resolution for
There you go.
2022.
Yeah.
We get 12 of them in next year.
Yeah, we've got so many great stories to share, and I think a lot of people can relate to kind of the topics that we're digging into. So we're gonna do our best to do our day jobs, but also get on the horn here and impart some of that information on you guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Thanks a lot. Bye bye.